Excuse me.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there a court reporter there?
We do have one in place,
There is one there in person.
but they're not working for the commission.
Right, but there is one live there with you.
I think she's alive. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I just need to text my office. I was told to join this via Zoom.
You still need to stay on the Zoom call because you're reporting for the commission.
Okay. Could I ask who the one there works for?
Which logs reporting and video. Logs reporting and video.
Okay. Could I get the name of the members?
I can share that with you following the meeting. Is that okay?
Who's going to be talking?
All of the commission members will be responsible for responding to votes.
Okay, that's going, okay. We'll just see how it goes then.
Momentarily, you will hear the roll call, and you can write down these names of the members as you hear them called out. So,
Yes, sir.
Let's communicate with our supervisor.
ready? Y'all ready? We'll call our meeting to order this afternoon, the Alabama Medical Cannabis Commission. This meeting on December the 12th, 2023 at 1:02 p.m. After we call the meeting to order, I'm going to ask Mr. James Harwell to have a word of invocation for our meeting today. James?
Thank you. Let us pray together. Father God, we just thank you for this day, and Father, we thank you for the Christmas season and what it means to us. And Father, we just pray for wisdom and direction today, particularly the commission members that we vote. And Father, and just pray for your will to be done today, that you'll be glorified through all that takes place. We just pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much for that, James. Now we'll move into our roll call with our director, Mr. John McMillan. Each commission member, please make your presence known clear for our court reporter who is also online. So, Mr. McMillan, go ahead with the roll call.
Chairman Vaughn.
Here.
Dr. Blakemore.
Present.
Dr. Soliski.
Here.
Mr. Gamble.
Here.
Dr. Martin is not with us. Dr. Jensen.
Here. Here.
Ms. Skelton is not with us. Judge Price. Here. Ms. Hatchett.
Here.
Mr. Harwell.
Here.
Dr. Saflarski is not with us. Dr. Harvey.
Here.
Mr. Robinson. We have a quorum, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. McMillan. A lot of our commission members probably were anticipating the minutes from our previous few meetings. We've had a lot in the last 2 weeks, but those minutes of our meetings on December the 1st and then also December the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th are still being prepared, and they'll be circulated for your review and considered for approval at our next commission meeting, which as of right now will be December the 28th. Good afternoon to all of our guests, certainly our commission members. Thank you all for being here today. As you know, we received integrated facility applicant presentations last Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of last week. I want to thank all of our commissioners for their participation in these presentations. It was lengthy. I also want to thank all of our applicants who were willing and presented, and I know that each of the presentations will be helpful to our commission members as we consider licensing decisions today. However, let me remind everyone, particularly our commissioners, that applicants were not obligated to make a presentation, and they are still subject to an award of a license even if they did not make a presentation. I'd like to recognize Mr. Justin Aday to discuss our procedure and our process for today's meeting. Justin?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioners, as you are all aware, the procedures for presentations that were made last week and the procedures for your meeting today are governed largely by the provisions of the emergency rule, Rule 538-X-3-.20-ER, that this body adopted on October 12th, 2023. Also, your licensing decisions are being made without regard to previous scoring that was before you, as agreed in the litigation settlement and memorialized in the order entered by the Montgomery County Circuit Court, which has been circulated to each of you. I'll briefly remind you of a few of the specific provisions of the emergency rule that will be part of your deliberations and actions today. First, let me remind you, as the chairman reminded you during presentations and again today, that an applicant's failure to make a presentation before the commission does not mean that the applicant is precluded from being considered for an award of license. The emergency rule is clear that making a presentation was an opportunity for, but not an obligation of, applicants. Second, applicants who were previously identified as having potential pass-fail issues were given an opportunity to show cause through a written submission as to why their application should not be rejected due to such pass-fail items. According to the statute and the AMCC rules, any applicant with such circumstances existing is ineligible to receive a license. You've been provided with those criteria in your materials today. For the integrated facility license category in which you will consider license awards today, there were a total of 11 applicants who were sent pass-fail show cause notices in accordance with the emergency rule. Of those 11 applicants, 2 failed to submit a response to the show cause notice. You have before you in your materials a summary of the pass-fail items noted for each of the applicants and the response for those applicants who submitted one. Included in the summary is the page number reference for each response. This is the same information that you were provided in advance of the presentations, but in a combined format for all of the applicants being considered today. As the meeting proceeds, the chairman will ask for your consideration of those applicants who were required to submit a show cause response. Next, and with that framework in mind, I'll briefly discuss the procedure provided in the emergency rule for ranking and then voting on applicants who are subject to an award of license. Once you have disposed of all pass-fail matters, then you will be provided with a ranking sheet for the integrated facility license category. You will rank each applicant in descending order, assigning a unique numerical ranking to each applicant. For example, the applicant that you are ranking highest will be assigned a 1, the next highest ranking applicant assigned a 2, and so forth until all applicants have been ranked. As a result, all applicants will be assigned a ranking, and no 2 applicants will receive the same ranking. As a reminder, all rankings shall give due consideration to all statutory and regulatory criteria, which you've been provided and which I cited a few moments ago. As you're also aware, Alabama Code Section 20-2A-51B provides that this commission shall ensure that at least 1/5 or 20% of all integrated facility licenses that are awarded to business entities, at least 51% of which are owned by members of a minority group, or in the case of a corporation, at least 51% of the shares of the corporation are owned by members of a minority group and are managed and controlled by members of a minority group in its daily operations. The code defines minority group as individuals of African American, Native American, Asian, or Hispanic descent. The applicants who indicated in their application that they have satisfied this criteria and submitted supporting documentation for same will be denoted on the ranking sheet with an M beside the applicant name. Once you've completed your ranking sheet, we will collect them and compile the rankings submitted by each commissioner. The compiled rankings for each applicant will be averaged, and the applicants will be sorted in descending rank order. That is, the applicant with the lowest average rank value is the highest ranked applicant and will be considered first in the order of voting. The applicants will then be considered in order based on their average rank value. If there is a tie among 2 or more applicants being considered, then the emergency rule provides that the first of the tied applicants to be considered will be determined by drawing. If necessary, we will explain that process as it is used. All commissioners will identify themselves by name on the ranking sheet, and the compiled rankings identifying each applicant and each commissioner will be made available publicly today in the meeting, as well as on the AMCC website after the conclusion of the meeting. I'll be happy to entertain any questions or yield back to you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Aday. Do any of our commission members have a question for Mr. Justin Aday? Hearing none, we'll move on with that decision item. As Mr. Aday just mentioned, we do have a total of 11 applicants before us today who were sent a pass-fail show cause notice, and 2 of those applicants failed or declined to respond to the notice. As you will see referenced on your pass-fail summary, your document, those applicants are applicant 1651, which is ML Jemison Properties, an LLC, and applicant 1703, ETS Holdings, also an LLC. Because these 2 applicants did not submit a show cause response, it will now be in order to eliminate these 2 from consideration for a license, and I'll entertain a motion to such end.
I so move.
Got a motion from Dr. Jensen. Is there a second?
Second.
Got a second from Mr. Harwell. Any discussion on that motion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Just for clarity, we will have a roll call vote. So, Mr. McMillan, call the roll, please, sir.
Chairman Vaughn.
Here.
Dr. Blakemore.
Aye.
Dr. Saliski.
Aye.
Mr. Gamble.
Aye.
Dr. Martin. Dr. Jensen.
Aye.
Ms. Skelton. Judge Price. Ms. Hatchett.
Aye.
Mr. Harwell.
Aye.
Dr. Saflarski. Dr. Harvey.
Aye. Motion passes. Let the records show, I think I responded here, and that should be an aye. Sorry about that, Mr. McMillan. Next, we have another item to consider. We have 9 other applicants who were sent a pass-fail show cause notice who did submit a response, and those 9 applicants are included in your pass-fail summary document with the page number references to the show cause responses that they did submit. I'll entertain a motion if any commissioner would like for us to consider eliminating any one or more of these 9 applicants. Is there any motion to that effect?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we eliminate from consideration applicant 1650, Alabama Medical Grow LLC, for failure to show cause regarding its pass-fail items, particularly failure to provide proof of the required $2 million integrated facility performance bond.
Thank you, Mr. Gamble. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Got a second from Mr. Harwell. Any other discussion on the motion to remove 1650 applicant Alabama Medical Grow and LLC? Mr. McMillan, please have the roll call.
Chairman Vaughn.
Yes.
Dr. Blakemore.
Yes.
Dr. Saliski.
Yes.
Mr. Gamble.
Yes.
Dr. Martin. Dr. Jensen.
Yes.
Ms. Skelton. Judge Price. Ms. Hatchett.
Yes.
Mr. Harwell.
Yes.
Dr. Saflarski. Dr. Harvey.
Yes. Thank you,
Unanimous
Mr.
vote, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. McMillan. Is there a motion as to any other applicants to be considered for elimination? Hearing none, we're now ready to move into the ranking and voting process for our integrated facility licenses. Mr. Aday described the process previously that we will use. Given the 2 withdrawn applications and the 3 applicants eliminated based on pass-fail items, there are now 33 applicants under consideration. Are there any questions or discussion of applications before the ranking sheets are distributed by our staff? Ms. Peters and Mr. Aday will begin passing out the ranking sheets. As Justin and Brittany are passing out the ranking sheets, just keep in mind, commission members, that the way they're listed or is in the application number in order they came in to the commission. So whenever they turn in their application, that is the order that they will be presented to us. There are 2 pages to consider of ranking. The minority applicants are noted on your list. Our staff have confirmed the data provided from our commission members, and I'm going to go through the ranking. I'm starting with the highest ranked, and I'll give the average score rank of each one. I will go all the way through the entire list of applicants that we have, the entire 33. And then we will begin at the top and begin to take votes according to rank, if that's what our commission members choose to do. Applicant ID number 1675 was the highest ranked applicant, Sustainable Alabama, an LLC, with an average score rank of 5.333. Applicant ID number 1656, Wagon Trail MedServ, an LLC, was the second highest ranked with an average score rank of 6.0. Applicant ID number 1679, Flowerwood Medical Cannabis, an LLC, with an average score of 6.7778. Applicant 1640, Gemstone, Alabama, an LLC, with an average score rank of 9.4444. Applicant ID number 1690, Specialty Medical Products of Alabama, an LLC, with an average score rank of 9.8889. Applicant ID number 1664, Samson Growth, an LLC, with an average score rank of 10.0. Applicant ID number 1649, Bragg Canna of Alabama, an LLC, with an average score rank of 10.1111. Applicant number 1667, BSWMC, an LLC, with an average score rank of 10.1111. That is a tie with Bragg Canna of Alabama. Applicant number 1702, Aspire Medical Partners, an LLC, with an average score ranking of 10.4444. Applicant number 1612, Southeast Cannabis Company, an LLC, a minority, with an average score rank of 10.6667. Applicant number 1659, Alabama Always, an LLC, with an average score of 11.4444. Applicant number 1621, True Leave Alabama, Incorporated, a minority, with an average score rank of 11.5556. Applicant number 1627, INSA Alabama, an LLC, with an average score ranking of 12.6667. Applicant number 1704, TheraTrue Alabama, an LLC, a minority, with an average score rank of 12.7778. Applicant number 1660, Hornet Medicinals, an LLC, a minority, with an average score rank of 16.3333. Applicant number 1644, Three Notch Roots, an LLC, with an average score of 16.8889. Applicant number 1684, AM Sky, an LLC, a minority, with an average score ranking of 17.2222. Applicant number 1615, Southern Crop Holding Company, an LLC, with an average score ranking of 18.8889. Applicant number 1620, Natural Relief Cultivation, an LLC, a minority, with an average score ranking of 19.8889. Applicant number 1642, Yellowhammer Holistics, an LLC, also a minority, with an average score ranking of 20.0. Applicant number 1630, Alacan, an LLC, with an average score ranking of 20.6667. Applicant number 1693, Justice Cannabis Alabama, an LLC, a minority applicant, with an average score ranking of 21.0. Applicant number 1700, Medela LLC, a minority, with an average score ranking of 21.0. Applicant number 1626, Greenbud, an LLC, a minority, with an average score ranking of 21.1111. Applicant number 1668, Verano, Alabama, an LLC, with an average score ranking of 21.5556. Applicant number 1672, FFD Alabama Holdings and LLC, with an average score ranking of 22.7778. Applicant number 1677, RX Connection and LLC, with an average score ranking of 23.4444. Applicant number 1625, Southeastern Medical Wellness and LLC, with an average score ranking of 25.1111. Applicant number 1686, Artemis Agricultural Industries Incorporated, a minority, with an average score ranking of 25.1111. Applicant number 1634, Beneficial and LLC, with an average score ranking of 26.2222. Applicant number 1685, Chromicon Health and LLC, with an average score ranking of 28.3333. Applicant number 1695, Greenleaf Farm Incorporated, a minority applicant, with an average score ranking of 29.0. And applicant number 1636, Evexia Plus and LLC, with an average score ranking of 29.2222. Any questions from commission members before we begin our nominating and voting process? I'd like to remind all of our commission members that we shall nominate, vote, and confirm at least one minority in the 5 that are confirmed today. So keep that in mind as we move through the process. That is in the statute, and we will move forward with that in mind.
Mr. Chairman, if
Yes,
I
sir.
could just add to that a little bit so that for clarity, the statute allows you to award no more than 5 integrated facility licenses. And pursuant to the statute 22A51B, the commission shall ensure that at least 1/5 of all integrated facility licenses awarded go to applicants, entities which are at least 51% owned by members of a minority group, or in the case of a corporation, at least 51% of the shares of the corporation are owned by members of a minority group. We have designated those minority applicants. So just as a reminder, you are limited by statute to awarding no more than 5 integrated facility licenses, and of those that you award, at least 20% must be a minority applicant. And then one final reminder, as you award a license to an applicant going through the list, each time a license is awarded, that takes away an available slot up to that maximum of no more than 5.
Thank you, Mr. Aday. As he mentioned, the one of the 5 will satisfy the 20% requirement on the integrated policy, the integrated applicants on the minority aspect of it. Is there any other discussion from commission members before we begin the process?
Chairman, should we not consider voting on minority applicant first?
Dr. Salisky, that would be up to the commission members to nominate and vote accordingly. So there is no restriction on that aspect. So any of all of the applicants that I just mentioned in the score ranking, any applicant can be nominated, and we have to require a second. But we will have to vote according to we'll start with the ranking, highest ranked. If there's a, yes, Judge Price.
Following up on Dr. Zielinski's question, if we take the minority vote first, which has to be 1, do we do that by nomination and a second, then a vote? Is that what?
Yes, sir, Judge Price. There will be a nomination and a request for a second.
Okay.
And if there is a motion and a second, there will be a vote. Yes, sir, Dr. Jensen.
Well, are you ready for a motion?
Well, let me.
Question for, so if we do that and we obviously vote for one, then what order do we proceed in after that?
We're going to proceed from the top ranking on down.
Okay.
If we're proceeding from the top ranking down, then I would like to nominate the highest ranked minority applicant, which would be Southeast Cannabis Company.
Second.
I don't know if we can do that.
Am I confused, but aren't there two others in there?
Yeah, there's more than two.
1679 and 1640 are both.
Those are not minority applicants.
I thought they were. Let's double check.
Had a question here.
Mr. Mark Wilkerson, I'm going to ask you for a point of order. Is it required that we start at the top of the ranked applicants and proceed downward until we reach a point of having to nominate a minority?
Well, Mr. Chairman, as you know, the emergency rule that was passed by this board indicates that the scoring will be used. If you'll give me a moment, I'll find the exact language. It's the page that says as soon as practicable.
Oh.
It says, and to read the rule exactly, in order to determine the order in which applicants should be considered, each commissioner will be given an opportunity to submit in open meeting a written form providing an overall preliminary rank and descending order of each applicant in the license category, giving due consideration to all statutory and regulatory criteria. Such forms will be tabulated and averaged by the commission staff and used solely to determine the order in which the individual applicants are subsequently considered. And then it goes on to say, in those instances where two more applicants receive identical average rankings, the order shall be determined by the drawing. The chair will call for a motion to approve or deny each application in the order established above. If there is no, so that's what the rule says. Statute says, as you know, that's been repeated several times during this meeting, that you are required to ensure that a minimum of 20% of the licenses that you vote to award today are to minority applicants. That's a minimum of 1 in 5. Not exclusively 1 in 5, but a minimum of 1 in 5 that you're required to do today. I would suggest that if it is the desire of this body to consider first a motion to consider a minority applicant, if that is the desire. Just for due order and to show that you're following the emergency rule, I suggest that when you call up a particular item, that it be that there be a motion to take a minority applicant out of order in light of the requirements of the statute and what's been revealed on the scoring, and you may consider that first. I think it's within the authority of this body to interpret its rules and apply the statute, the minority requirement statute, in that fashion. However, you would also be permitted to entertain motions on each of the applications in the order that they're scored, and to and if after if you were to approve 4 applications that are not minority, to make it clearly understood the commission that you are prohibited under that statute from granting any other application to a non-minority. That would allow you to follow the order has been presented, and to make that determination after your 4th vote if you approve 4 that are non-minorities. So
makes sense to me.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor from Ms. Hatchett. Ms. Hatchett, I'm going to ask, would you want to withdraw that motion so that we may first have a vote to move forward with a minority vote first?
Absolutely.
Okay. So that motion has been withdrawn. Now we're going to entertain a motion and possibly a second, that we nominate and vote on a minority applicant first, which would be out of rank. Is there such a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Got a motion from Mr. Dwight Gamble, second from Ms. Hatchett. Is there any other discussion? All in favor of that motion to go out of rank and to pull the first, or to accept a motion first for the nomination of a minority and vote accordingly. All in favor say aye.
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 I'll need to have a roll call vote. Mr. McMillan, proceed with the roll call vote, please.
Chairman Vaughn.
Aye.
Dr. Blakemore.
Aye.
Dr. Saliski.
Aye.
Mr. Gamble.
Aye.
Dr. Martin. Dr. Jensen.
Aye.
Ms. Skelton. Judge Price.
Aye.
Ms. Hatchett.
Aye.
Mr. Harwell.
Aye.
Dr. Saflarski. Dr. Harvey.
Aye.
Unanimous vote of those present, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. McMillan. Now it is in order to nominate a minority if any commission member chooses to do so.
I would like to nominate Southeast Cannabis Company, LLC, the highest ranked minority applicant.
I second the motion.
Who's that second?
Dwight.
Okay, we have a motion made by Ms. Hatchett, a second by Mr. Dwight Gamble. Any other discussion on the motion in a second? If not, we'll proceed with the roll call vote. Mr. McMillan.
Chairman Vaughn.
Yes.
Dr. Blakemore.
No.
Dr. Saliski.
No.
Mr. Gamble.
Yes.
Dr. Martin. Dr. Jensen.
No.
Ms. Skelton. Judge Price.
No.
Ms. Hatchett.
Yes.
Mr. Harwell.
Yes.
Dr. Saflarski. Dr. Harvey, I'm sorry.
No.
Fails.
The motion has failed on a vote of 5-4. So now we will, another minority.
Who's the next highest?
Chairman, I'd like to make a motion.
Yes, who's speaking?
Dr. Saliski.
Dr. Saliski, go ahead.
I'd like a motion to review 1621 True Leave, Alabama.
Okay.
I second the motion.
Got a motion from Dr. Saliski and a second from Mr. Judge Price. Any other discussion on that motion to nominate and vote on True Leave, Alabama and incorporation, a minority applicant? If not, Mr. McMillan, have the roll call vote, please.
Chairman Vaughn.
No.
Dr. Blakemore.
Yes.
Dr. Saliski.
Yes.
Mr. Gamble.
Yes.
Dr. Martin. Dr. Jensen.
Yes.
Ms. Skelton. Judge Price.
Yes.
Ms. Hatchett.
No.
Mr. Harwell.
Yes.
Dr. Saflarski. Dr. Harvey.
No.
Passed. Motion passes on a vote of 6-3. So True Leave Alabama is our first minority applicant to be awarded a license with an average score ranking of 11.5556. Now we will move back to the top of the ranking order, as I mentioned a while ago. So is there a motion? I'll take a motion from anyone on the commission to nominate the first, to award an applicant. Is there a motion?
So move.
Yes.
Second.
Announce the name.
Who are you nominating, Dr. Blakemore?
Sustainable Alabama.
Okay. Thank you. Didn't hear that, Sam.
Yes, sir.
A motion, is there a second? Second from Ms. Hatchett to nominate applicant number 1675, Sustainable Alabama and LLC. Any discussion or questions or comments? Mr. McMillan, have the roll call vote, please.
Chairman Vaughn.
No.
Dr. Blakemore.
Yes.
Dr. Saliski.
Yes.
Mr. Gamble.
Yes.
Dr. Martin. Dr. Jensen.
Yes.
Ms. Skelton. Judge Price.
Yes.
Ms. Hatchett.
Yes.
Mr. Harwell.
Yes.
Dr. Saflarski. Dr. Harvey.
Yes.
Motion passes on a vote of 8-1. That was sustainable, right? So applicant Sustainable Alabama and LLC is awarded a license. Those are two confirmed votes thus far. Is there a motion for another applicant?
I move to, for Wagon Trail to be considered.
Which one?
Wagon Trail.
Okay, I'm sorry. I got you, Dr. Jensen.
1656.
Got a motion from Dr. Jensen to nominate Wagon Trail MedServ and LLC with an average score rank of 6.0. Is there a second?
Second.
Got a second from Mr. Harwell. Any other discussion, comments, or questions? Okay, Mr. McMillan, move forward with the roll call vote, please.
Chairman Vaughn.
Yes?
Dr. Blakemore.
Yes.
Dr. Saliski.
Yes.
Mr. Gamble.
Yes.
Dr. Martin. Dr. Jensen.
Yes.
Ms. Skelton. Judge Price.
Yes.
Ms. Hatchett.
Yes.
Mr. Harwell.
Yes.
Dr. Saflarski. Dr. Harvey.
Yes.
Motion passes with a vote of 9-0. Moving forward with the fourth nomination. Is there a motion and a second?
I'd like to make a motion to nominate Flowerwood Medical Cannabis LLC.
Thank you, Ms. Hatchett. We have a motion for applicant number 1679, Flowerwood. That a second, Dr. Jensen? Got a second from Dr. Jensen for Flowerwood Medical Cannabis and LLC with an average score rank of 6.7778. Is there any other discussion, comments, or questions? If not, Mr. McMillan, move forward with the vote.
Chairman Vaughn.
Yes.
Dr. Blakemore.
Yes.
Dr. Saliski.
Yes.
Mr. Gamble.
Yes.
Dr. Martin. Dr. Jensen.
Yes.
Ms. Skelton. Judge Price.
Yes.
Ms. Hatchett.
Yes.
Mr. Harwell.
Yes.
Dr. Saflarski. Dr. Harvey.
Yes.
Motion passes with a vote of 9-0. That is 4 applicants that have been confirmed, an applicant. So we'll now move on down to applicant number 1640. Is there a motion?
I move, skip the rest, and I move that Alabama Always 1659 be the next applicant.
Can't do that.
It's got to be in order.
I don't think we can do
I
that.
don't think
You can nominate anyone from this.
Judge Price, I believe we have to stay within the ranking. We had a vote to go with an outlier to satisfy the minority aspect of that was the previous vote that we confirmed was to go ahead and vote on a minority to get that 20% satisfied.
That is not a minority.
No, I know. We've already confirmed a minority.
Yeah, absolutely. So really, if you just go down the line, the first 5, the first 4 after you took care of the minority would be those that are accepted.
If we all
Well, the rules
no.
the rules direct that we go down the order by the ranking.
Okay. Well,
So we're just going down as people see fit to nominate, and if we have a vote to confirm. So the next applicant.
Just a minute. We pause, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, we have a moment.
Yes, we're going to pause just for a second to clear up some legalities.
The voting out of order that was taken on the minority candidate, the motion there was to deviate from the rankings and take someone out of order. And then once that motion prevailed, then an applicant was nominated. So the motion that would be in order, should the commission choose to deviate from the ranking, would be to deviate from the rankings, and then as deviated, a motion on a particular applicant would be in order.
Thank you, Mr. Ade. So I guess we will take a motion if one wants to deviate from the ranking order.
Yeah, I move we deviate from the ranking and consider other applicants other than the miracle.
Okay, we have a motion from Judge Price to deviate from the ranking order as we vote. Is there a second?
Is there a second?
Motion fails for lack of a second. So now we will go back to our original rule direction of voting in order of ranking. Back on the ranking order, the fourth ranked applicant number will be 1640, Gemstone, Alabama, an LLC with a average score rank of 9.4444. Is there a motion to nominate for awarding of a license? Hearing none. Moving on to applicant number 1690. Is there a motion?
So move.
For Specialty Medical Products of Alabama, an LLC, with an average score rank of 9.8889. We have a motion from Dr. Blakemore. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Mr. Harwell. Any other discussion, questions, or comments from commission members? Mr. McMillan, move forward with the roll call vote, please.
Chairman Vaughn.
Yes.
Chairman Vaughn, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Dr. Blakemore.
Yes.
Dr. Soliski.
Yes.
Mr. Gamble.
Yes.
Dr. Martin. Dr. Jensen.
Yes.
Ms. Skelton. Judge Price. Ms. Hatchett.
Yes.
Mr. Harwell.
Yes.
Dr. Saflarski. Dr. Harvey.
Yes.
That motion is confirmed by a vote of 8-1, and that is the fifth applicant confirmed to be awarded a license. Deny. Seeing as we've gone through that process today, now we need a motion to deny all other integrated facility applicants. Is there a motion to such?
So moved.
Got a motion from Ms. Hatchett to deny all other integrated facility applicants. Is there a second?
Second.
Got a second from Mr. Harwell. Any other discussion? Mr. McMillan, move forward with a roll call vote, please.
Chairman Vaughn.
Yes.
Dr. Blakemore.
Yes.
Dr. Soliski.
Yes.
Mr. Gamble.
Yes.
Dr. Martin. Dr. Jensen.
Yes.
Ms. Skelton. Judge Price.
Yes.
Ms. Hatchett.
Yes.
Mr. Harwell.
Yes.
Dr. Saflarski. Dr. Harvey.
Yes.
That motion and a second is confirmed with a vote of 9-0. The motion passes. A couple of other items I mentioned as far as old or new business. One item of new business is in regard to the request for an investigative hearing. I'll ask Mr. Justin Ade once again to explain this item. Justin?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just briefly, as you're aware, the rule changes that were approved on October 12th, and then the final approval that was given on December 7th after the public comment period had run. Those rule changes included expanded procedures related to the request for investigative hearing. We are currently in that request period for the applicants who were denied licenses on December 1st. And then beginning today, after these actions, we will be in that period for the integrated facility applicants that were denied today. Because of some overlap between that period running now and the effective date of those rule changes, we need to consider one of the items that was required under the old rule but not under the new rule, and that was a requirement that applicants seeking an investigative hearing are required to pay the amount of the license fee. That provision was removed in the new rule. I believe that that was certainly the will of the body in those revisions, and it would be in order for the body to consider today waiving that rule or waiving that fee requirement as an impediment to anyone who may be seeking an investigative hearing while we are in this overlap time between investigative hearing request being due and the effective date of the rule.
Thank you, Mr. Aday. Now that you've heard Mr. Aday's explanation regarding the request for an investigative hearing, I'll entertain a motion that the fee required under the current version of our rules be waived for those denied applicants who wish to request an investigative hearing. Is there a motion to such?
So moved.
Got a motion from Dr. Jensen.
Hatchett.
Is there a second? Got a second from Ms. Hatchett. Any other discussion or questions from commission members? Mr. McMillan, move forward with the roll call vote, please.
Chairman Vaughn.
Yes.
Dr. Blakemore.
Yes.
Dr. Solinsky.
Yes.
Mr. Gamble.
Yes.
Dr. Martin. Dr. Jensen.
Yes.
Ms. Skelton. Judge Price. Yes. Ms. Hatchett.
Yes.
Mr. Harwell.
Yes.
Dr. Saflarsky. Dr. Harvey.
Yes.
Vote is confirmed by a vote of 9-0. Those of you who were awarded a license today will be invoiced for the license fee, and you will have until December the 26th to submit the payment. The AMCC staff will also be reaching out to those who received a license to conduct the pre-issuance site inspection. Those applicants who were denied a license have that same frame of deadline of December the 26th to submit a request for an investigative hearing. Each applicant, whether awarded or denied a license, will be contacted by the AMCC regarding these obligations. I'm going to ask Mr. Scott Absher if he'll make a quick comment based on what he'll be trying to do for the next 2 weeks. So, Scott.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We'll be reaching out to everyone that has been awarded a license and doing the pre-issuance inspection site visits pursuant to statute. We'll be coming by and reviewing sites. We'll be reviewing your plans and all other pertinent material with each individual applicant. Those will be going on in the next few days. We'll be getting in touch with everybody.
Thank you, Scott. Any other questions from commission members or comments concerning today's meeting? As Scott mentioned, any issues or problems that need to be brought to the commission prior to December 28th, we will address them at that meeting. So I want to thank our commission members for the due diligence, the commitment, the time you gave for the past 2 weeks, and then today for all you've done for giving adequate time for our applicants to come make their presentations. It's been a long and a challenging process, but I think very worthwhile. So if there's nothing else, we will plan to meet December 28th. 2023 at 1 p.m. here in this very room. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Got a motion from Mr. Harwell, second from Dr. Blakemore. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We stand adjourned at 2:41 p.m. Thank you.
He's going to come try to get a copy of this morning. Do you have a copy?